We are thrilled to introduce Project AWAZ, a groundbreaking initiative by Parindey Foundation focused on raising awareness about mental health. Project AWAZ is all about spreading knowledge and breaking the stigma surrounding mental health issues, regardless of age or gender. Our approach is unique and creative, utilizing a variety of methods to reach and engage our audience, from insightful interviews with experts to innovative storytelling and educational content. We are committed to making mental health information accessible and engaging. Through Project Avaz, we aim to inform and empower individuals by providing them with the tools and understanding needed to support themselves and others. We are not just sharing facts, we are starting conversations and inspiring change.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to AWAZ, where we delve into important topics related to mental health and well being. I'm your host, and the project AWAZ aims to spread awareness about mental health, and today we are focusing on well being of children. We are honored to have with us Meenakshi Ghosh, ma'am, a child psychologist with 3 years of experience working closely with children. Ma'am will share her insight into child psychology, the challenges faced by children and parents, and how we can better support our young ones in their developmental journey. I warmly welcome you, ma'am, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for calling me today, and I'm really honored and excited about it. Okay, so basically, firstly, thank you for this introduction, and I'm ready for all the questions coming up, and I hope I can clear as many doubts as possible today with you all. Okay, so you can start.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So, to start our conversation, ma'am, could you share with us what inspired you to work with children in the field of psychology? Any particular story or experience that you want to share with us?
Surely. So basically, for me, I love children. From the very beginning, I really love children. And basically, my passion for child development and, a desire to support them is actually helped me to take this up. And some of the stories will be like, even frankly speaking, I was the only one who had been through many such issues during my childhood period. And even I had one of my counselors who really helped me out during that time. So, she was my inspiration after that. That yes, there is something that we can really help children by this way as well. Okay. So even I had been through a lot of situations during my childhood period, starting from bullying to issues, academic issues. I had poor results as well. So yes, but the way I coped up and when I came up with the flying colors, it was something very joyful to me. So I feel that yes, every children can do that. Every children. There is nothing like one children can do and another cannot. Every children can do. It's just that a little bit support and a little bit of motivation. That's it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That's a beautiful story. Ma'am, in your experience, in what specific situation do children most develop mental health disorders?
Okay. So, children's basically, as of my experience, children's basically develop mental health issues due to family trauma or any traumatic event happening in their life, maybe physical abuse, sexual abuse, or anything as such. Okay, even bullying, social pressure, peer pressure, all these things lead the children into to have a mental health issue in their life, and they take certain negative decisions as well. I think so. I was talking about one incident what happened in northeast, which was very very traumatic event where a child had taken a decision to kill his principal. So, why did it happen? How did it happen? From when it has been started? Everything needs to be taken care of. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, the incident that you shared, can you elaborate more about that incident? Uh, which were you talking about, and what was the reason? Like, not don't you don't have to elaborate what happened, but what were the causes you about that incident that you're talking about?
Yes. So
What are the
basically,
causes?
yes, I tell you. So basically, the child was a kid, was a very new kid at school. Okay, and he was being admitted to school almost like 2 to 3 months ago. And what happened? He was being expelled from many other schools as well. And one thing was there, since it's a, our education policy is an inclusive policy. So no matter what, we need to give the child a second opportunity. But what happened, we need to have an alert mind as well, as
Hmm.
a authority, as parents, as teachers. Okay, so what happened, the child was having a lot of issues. He was being drug addict, he was being expelled from the school, he was having poor academic results. So these were the many factors which has come up. And especially the, the search history, his search engines was filled up with, how to kill people, how to, take up the body, which knife is very good for killing. So these kind of histories were out there. Okay, so what happened, all these things, his aggression, his emotional outburst has taken a negative action, basically. So it might have been started with bullying, it might have been started with a family trauma, and it ended up in a very traumatic event for the whole city.
That's really hard to listen. But, ma'am, in these situations, can you explain that what's your approach of assessment in children from the early age, not in that in a very vast manner, but from the early age, and what is the importance of early intervention in addressing developmental or mental health disorders in children?
No. Frankly speaking, firstly, as a parents, now every time psychologists cannot be accessible. Hmm. So as a parents, we need to take care of certain things, how the children is behaving. Firstly, whether the child is behaving in a very extrovert manner, does he talk, doesn't he talk, if he doesn't talk, what is the issue. Even from the smallest to smallest thing should be taken care of. Now taking the assessment, taking, those technical approaches might not be possible all the time. Because it's a, a huge population, and a minor population of people does know how to take those kind of assessments. But yes, as a parents, we need to take care of certain things, that one, in discipline, should be taken care of, starting from bad words. If a child says bad words, from where it's come,
Hmm.
from where he is listening, we need to take care of that. So these small things, this small indiscipline can lead to bigger actions tomorrow. So if it doesn't, it is not taken care of, basically. Hmm. So this is the first intervention needs to be done, first approach. And secondly, even we need to be empathetic towards children these days. During our time, we can say that during our time we didn't do it, why are, children are doing it, how is it possible, means why is it so, even we grew up. So these kind of statements can demotivate the children as well as you as a parent. Hmm. At during that time we didn't have such kind of exposures, no social media exposures were there, no technology exposures were there. Only, minor technology exposures were there, which was not very much harmful towards kids. and it was not that much accessible, and it was not that much economically cheap during that time. So we need to be empathetic enough firstly listen to children. Even the
Hmm.
smallest of smallest sadness can lead to many bigger things. Okay, being empathetic, listening to them, and being supportive, this is the three main intervention which needs to be done.
That should be parents should be aware about these things. That is really important. And these are
Very
very small points that we neglect, which are really important.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Sometimes we understand the big terms of instant gratification and so many things, but we cannot understand the term called empathy. We cannot understand the term called active listening. And yes, after these three, we can say that the fourth one is talk to your professional.
Yeah.
This is the last point can come. But before that, this three needs to be taken care of: empathy, listening, and support.
हम जैसे बात कर रहे थे पेरेंट्स के बारे में, तो जब किसी बच्चे की डेवलपमेंटल डिले है या कोई मेंटल हेल्थ डिसऑर्डर है, हाउ यू गाइस काउंसिल दोज पेरेंट्स एंड हेल्प देम मैनेज देयर एंजाइटी, बिकॉज उनको भी उतनी ही टेंशन हो रही होती है कि बिकॉज दिस इज वेरी अननोन फॉर एवरीवन, लाइक नोबडी हैज डेल्ट, और जिसने भी डील किया है वो प्रोफेशनल मैनर में आई गेस अभी अवेयरनेस आई है. सो हाउ यू मैनेज with their anxiety and help them manage their anxiety and their expectations.
So first thing, even as a counselor or as a psychologist, there may be many solutions, okay, to manage their anxiety and expectations. But when it comes to the field, the practical field, it is sometimes difficult for us as well. Firstly, we need to make them accept, and that acceptance, the time of acceptance goes maybe little longer. And at during that time, we need to give certain amount of space. थोड़ा सा space उन्हें भी देना पड़ता है, थोड़ा सा freedom उन्हें भी देना पड़ता है कि वो accept करे बातों को. Because I have encountered certain parents as well who are having special needs children, but they want them to do certain things in life which might take a lot of time, or maybe it may be possible or it may not be possible. Okay, so acceptance बोलना आसान है for many, but for them, when we become empathetic, we understand कि ये मुश्किल है accept करना. So we need to firstly accept that they can sometimes outburst. They can sometimes say you certain things. So, as a psychologist, I have to be calm down. I have to listen to them, listen to their cries. वो लोग अगर कुछ बोल भी देते हैं, that's fine. That's totally fine. So, firstly, it's listening, as I said, even in my case. Now, giving counseling is that I counsel parents basically to focus on their child's individual processes. Hmm. And the progresses they made. This is a process. This is basically process of trust to gain a certain goal. To gain just one goal, that is the development of the child. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, to trust the process, to trust the progress.
Yeah.
Okay, and have a to set a realistic goals.
Hmm.
After acceptance, we have to make them understand that the goals are very nice, but it needs to be a little realistic. And some people, even some parents, say that they become so have that hopelessness into themselves. They say that maybe my child cannot do anything in the entire life. I said that no, there are certain children who are doing it, A few days back, I had also seen one child with the issue of autism has came into the stage and sang a very nice song into the television. So it is not true all the time that since they are special needs children that they cannot do anything in life. They might be
Hmm.
very good at sometimes, even better than the so-called normal children. Okay, so the reality is that, okay, if there is nothing needs to be hopelessness, or there is nothing needs to be like you need be so much hopeful that you become so much hopeful that it becomes difficult for the children to
Hmm.
achieve that goal.
Yeah.
Okay, and the child, and one thing I want to tell you that I also counsel them that though maybe they are special needs children, but they understand your emotions.
Yeah.
Hmm. Sometimes when you say certain negative things to them, they will definitely understand and they will retaliate with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so they might might not show, or maybe they cannot express that they are understanding certain things, though it may be delayed understanding, but they will be understanding. So whenever they will understand, just make sure that it is positive,
Hmm.
all the time encouraging them. So that is one thing I counsel them. And then I also say them that they need to practice self care. They need to be strong. They need to be firm on their terms. And some parents also come to me by saying that should we leave the job for our children as their special needs. So at that time I say it's your decision, but leaving your job for children, you know if you can manage your children with your job and you love your job at the same time, so there is no need.
Hmm.
Okay, but if you feel that you are unable to manage or you need some more time, you can take a break.
Hmm.
So it's totally a personal choice, but it doesn't mean that if you are having a special need children you need to leave the job. Did some. Okay.
Okay. So, ma'am, what are the tips that you want to give to the parents who are listening to this? And how can you, how can you comfort them with your words? Like, any magical words for them, if you may.
you know Special needs children goes to them only who are special parents. Not everybody gets special needs children. So first thing is that. Second thing is that your children, however they are, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that there are certain myths and misconceptions that they had maybe done something wrong in some way or the other. That's why it might have happened to them, but it is not. Okay,
That's a very
so
beautiful thing to say.
yes, so it is not. Basically, special needs children or any children comes to you with their choice. With their choice, they come to you. They stay with you because it is being destined to.
Hmm.
They would come to you. They will have that care and love and warmth from you. So, with like any other children, try to give them the same thing. With one thing is that never ever lose yourself.
Hmm.
In terms of taking care of the children, you should take care of yourself first. Pamper yourself every time what you used to do before. Taking out some time for yourself, listening to music, going to
Yeah.
salon, doing going for shopping,
Hmm.
going with your children in a park is very much normal.
That's very
So
beautiful, and that's really important for them to do.
Yes. So
Yeah.
basically, it if your child is just because your child is having certain behavioral issues, it doesn't mean that you have to keep him or her at home with yourself. You can go. It's okay.
मैम, जो स्पेशल नीड्स के बच्चे हैं उनमें हम लोग कैसे उनको स्कूल के साथ कोलैबोरेट करना, टीचर्स के साथ कोलैबोरेट करना, उनके खुद के जो चाइल्डहुड उनके एज के बच्चों के साथ उनको कोलैबोरेट करना, हाउ यू गाइज मेक इट पॉसिबल एंड व्हाट आर दो स्ट्रैटेजीज इफ यू if you want to share about this? Yeah.
So, firstly, see, on the government point of view or on the national education policy point of view, it is, it has been implemented currently. There is a policy of inclusive education. So, children are there who are having certain issues, and they're sitting with the so called normal children, and
Yeah.
the same teachers are teaching them.
Hmm.
So, they are collaborating it. Obviously, it's a the this is the first and foremost thing. It's a process. Even the teachers are learning day by day, and even the students are learning. So
Hmm.
it may happen that a student might feel that he or she behaves differently. Okay, so he or the students needs to be aware about all these stuffs,
Hmm.
that if someone behaves differently, how they should behave, what response they should give, whether
Hmm.
it should be negative or positive. So firstly, we need to give them counseling by saying that, by giving them the choice, that if that girl is behaving as such, then what should you do? Should you tease or should you help? So if the child says that, but यह तो ऐसे ही करती है, इसे तो मतलब कि इसे हम लोग पसंद नहीं करते हैं, इसे हम लोगों को इसे मजाक उड़ाने में मजा आता है. So we need to make that child as well understand that even you have certain weaknesses ना, तो
Yeah.
अगर आपका कोई मजाक उड़ाएगा आपको अच्छा लगेगा. Okay. So 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, it is a process, definitely. Though I said that the government has been implemented, but still there are many things coming up, difficulties come up. There are certain students who are having issue of specific learning disability, and teachers are unaware about it sometimes. And what happens when the teachers are unaware, the teachers take up the punishment for the child, because the child is unable to study, the child is unable to write. Hmm. So one thing is that the school psychologist and the authorities must have a data, the demographic data of each and every children, what they are going through, how is their social development, how is their cognitive development. They need to have a socio demographic data for every children, and it should be with all the authorities of the teachers.
Yeah.
Okay, and they should, and it should be basically one thing, when they will get to know about the child, the teacher will be automatically empathetic.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so it's just that sometimes it happened in my school as well, I tell you. One of the one of the girls who was there, who was there, basically she had an issue of mental health disorder. Okay,
yes.
and she was being prescribed certain medicines.
Hmm.
So what happened, she had certain side effects of medicines going on as well. So during the classes, she used to be very confused minded, or sometimes, she used to be very in a delusional way. She is having a very delusion or a hallucinatory times. Then
Yeah.
what happens during that time, one of the teachers came to me and asked me that, ma'am, what is it? how, why she is doing as such. So when I have showed, when I have said the teacher that, the child is going through this issue, so it
Yeah.
would be very great if you become a little bit empathetic and, let her give some space, that how she can study and whatever she does it, rather than giving her pressure all the time. We need to be empathetic. So I said just one teacher, and believe me, each and every teacher changed their behavior towards that girl. So the authorities needs to be very alert during that time, so that ultimately, whatever may be the reason, we need to support the children, that they complete their education, they complete their basic rights, no matter what. Okay.
Yeah. So, ma'am, when you talk about when you said कि जो behavioral issues के बच्चे हैं, उनको किसी ने डांट दिया, जब unaware है teachers भी, तो how you deal with that child? Like क्योंकि उसने वो shame देखा है, वो punishment लोगों को हंसते हुए देखा है, उस बच्चे के लिए इमोशंस हैंडल करना वैसे ही बहुत मुश्किल था। एंड अगर उसके साथ अगर ये सब चीजें हो जाए, देन उस टाइम पे हम उनको कोलैबोरेटिवली कैसे हेल्प कर सकते हैं कि वो स्कूल जाना भी ना छोड़े, वो अपने इमोशंस भी मैनेज करना सीखे। तो उसके लिए क्या इंटरवेंशंस हो सकती हैं?
तो उसके लिए there is only one intervention coming to it, is that CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, what we call it. Firstly, obviously, the rapport building needs to be there. There needs to be a space where she can express her emotions, even, let her cry. It may happen that first session will go in crying only, no therapy, nothing. Okay. So it may happen. Fine, let it go. Then on the from the second session, she will say something. Still give her time, because children trust very, nowadays, the trust issues of children are very much.
Yeah.
They will not trust you very
Hmm.
easily. So
Yeah.
even coming to third session, maybe some more two or three sentences comes up. Then when you will analyze it, you need to change her thought pattern,
Hmm.
saying that, ma'am, I'm very bad at everything. I'm good enough for enough things. Okay. I'm good enough for myself. I'm bad for others. Okay. I'm good enough for myself. So all these things, you need to change your thought. You need to be like, it needs to be client centric. Solutions needs to be there. Whenever the child is having this kind of issues, there need to be a solution which is related to totally client centric. And firstly, the children needs to be aware of one thing, that they need to love themselves and respect themselves, which they are unaware about. Okay, most of the time, maybe like it's
Hmm.
like 99% of the time, kids are unaware that they need to love themselves, they need to respect themselves, and walking away from some of the situations which they cannot solve, it's okay.
Ma'am, you have talked about rapport building, but as you said that it's really hard for kids to trust people. Adults में हम देखते हैं कि rapport building children से ज़्यादा easy होती है। ये
हाँ,
ये हाँ, ये मेरा ऑब्जर्वेशन है और ये मैंने ऑब्जर्व किया है। तो आपका क्या प्रोसेस रहता है रैपो बिल्डिंग का? लाइक वो कोई प्रोसेस है कुछ, या एवरी एवरी इंडिविजुअल हैज अ डिफरेंट नीड? तो वो हम कैसे स्पेसिफाई कर सकते हैं, कैसे ऑब्जर्व कर सकते हैं कि इसको इसको हम इस तरह से वी कैन बिल्ड अ ट्रस्ट? सो हाउ यू डू दैट?
see, firstly, I tell you, there was an Eric Erikson theory, I think so you know about it, that
ओके।
trust versus mistrust. Okay.
या।
So nowadays, why children are, mistrusting the world, is because they were unable to get the love and warmth and care during their infancy period.
Yeah.
Okay, and we need to understand that firstly, that they are not doing this, you know, intentionally.
Hmm.
हमें परेशान करने के लिए वो नहीं कर रहे हैं ये सब. इट इज हैपनिंग. ओके, अगर परेशान करने के लिए कर भी रहे हैं, इट स्टिल हैपन.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are certain things, you know, in during the rapport building needs to be taken care of. Firstly, the empathy. Secondly, understanding the child by saying that, because it happened with me once, I tell you. There was one child who came to me, who was sent by the principal, and I asked her that, how are you, dear? How are what is going on in the class? So she said that, ma'am, you are counselor. I said that, yes, I'm your counselor, dear. So, ma'am, what can you do for me? You cannot do anything for me. You cannot solve my problem. uh, then I said that, no, I'm not here to solve your problem. Why will I solve your problem? I'm just here to talk with you. Ah, no, ma'am, what do you want to talk? I don't want to talk anything. Okay. So I said that, fine, it's okay, but please sit. No, I don't want to sit with you. I don't want to sit here. I said that, okay, fine, no problem. Stand then. But at least talk for sometimes, because I didn't, I don't know you. So I just wanted to know your name and what do you do. It's just that. So, starting from the name, what happened? Then I said that, okay, can you do one thing? I heard that you draw really well. Okay, so can you draw a picture for me? So I had given her A4 size paper during that time, and she sat and, I told her to draw a family with a house. Okay, so she drew her family and with a house as well. So after analyzing the drawing, basically, I got to know that she was having certain traumatic events going on in her life. And then I said that, okay, fine, I have got your drawing. Do you want to see me something else? She said that, no, I don't want to see you. Then she went back. Okay, and then after the lunch break, she came up to me and she said that, ma'am, I want to talk to you. I said that, okay, fine, come and talk to me, dear. She came and said her whole story to me, everything, how, what happened with her, how she was being physically traumatized, how her parents have treated her, everything. Once she got to know that it is, it has stayed confidential, she understood. Okay, so maybe it was after lunch break, and so she have inquired from some other of her friends that how is the counselor and everything. Definitely she has done it. Okay, so then she came up to me. But here one thing, one tip is there. You need to know about the child beforehand.
Hmm.
Okay, small things, like I got to know that she is a, she draws very well, so I
Yeah.
could give her paper. So this is the, big ice breaking round what happened, because she, I have given her something what she liked, so she
Yeah.
had done it. Okay,
Hmm.
so firstly, whenever you are talking to child, make sure that you talk to either the parents, and if it's school,
Hmm.
either maybe teachers or principal, like how is her academics, what does
Hmm.
she do, how is she, just the MSc, what we call it, mental status examination, just a brief of it, and then rapport building will be easy.
Ma'am, use a word confidential. So, how we approach confidentiality in child psychology?
Okay, approaching confidentiality is just that, whenever we get to know certain things which are you feel that which is not very much important for the school authorities to know.
Yeah.
We need to keep quiet. Okay? Because she has said certain things, or he has said certain things which is very, for them it's a deep secret. And somehow, I tell you what happens, that as a psychologist we are being trained, or we are being classically conditioned, okay, to keep up the confidentiality. But
Hmm.
what happens whenever you go and tell to any other authority, maybe teachers or maybe
Yeah.
principal as well as parents, okay,
Yeah.
now they are not being classically conditioned. When
Yeah.
they get to know something, they will,
Thank you.
they capitalize the situation,
Yeah.
and it goes to many other places कि मेरी
Yes.
बेटी ने तो ऐसा कर दिया, वैसा कर दिया, तो उससे, if it's parents, then they will take them to many, places which are, they feel that it is a spiritual places or certain things, उससे क्या हो गया. So yeah, I'm telling about different types of families. It may not happen to all the families, okay?
Yeah.
So it may happen. And if it's parents or teachers, it may be a gossip in the staff room.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so maintaining confidentiality is that, firstly, understanding, suppose the child is having issue with the drugs, or maybe having issue with certain kind of criminal behavior, or any such thing which needs to be taken care of by the school authority. You have to tell that,
Hmm.
okay. You cannot keep quiet onto that sometimes, because it may be harmful for the, for whole school,
Yeah.
okay. The child might have come you and said that, ma'am, I take one cigarette or maybe two cigarettes a day, and from where did you get it? I get it from the warden, for
Hmm.
example, okay.
Right.
So now this needs to be taken care of. Now we have to tell the, even we need to give the counseling to the authorities as well, that you have to take action to the warden,
Yeah.
okay.
Hmm.
And there needs to be awareness camp for, drug prevention or any kind of such things which needs to be done. Now if a child comes and says you that my mom and dad quarrels every time, they beat me up sometimes, and if it's very badly, definitely we need to call to the child helpline number. And if it's maybe a one slap or certain things, sometimes we need to keep quiet, because it might have, it might be a process of disciplining as well, that
Hmm.
why she or he has came to the room to listen to their parents quarrel,
Yeah.
okay. So we never know, we need to understand both the aspects. So
Yeah.
we need to keep the confidentiality out there. And one more thing, when I'm talking about child helpline number, I just want to tell you that whenever a child comes to you, firstly look, take a look at their body appearance, whether there are any kind of scars,
Yeah.
marks in the faces, or maybe head, or
Hmm.
maybe hand, in the legs. Just have an observation. If there is certain thing, just inspect that from where did it came,
Yeah.
okay. And if you feel that every day rigorously it is happening and it is
Hmm.
coming from home, then you need to call up their parents,
Yeah. Okay.
okay.
Ma'am, yeah. When you told the story about the warden, ओके सो आपने वार्डन को चलो आपने अथॉरिटीज को बताया एंड दे रिमूव दैट वार्डन so that child will know that they they trusted you and उसका जो सोर्स है सिगरेट्स का या जो भी उसको जो भी चीजें मिल रही है अगर वो चला गया तो दे विल नेवर ट्रस्ट यू सो in those situations, if that child condition gets worse, then what in that situation, what will you do? What will you do?
See, firstly, uh, the child condition would not get worse. Hmm. Why? The warden might be removed, fine. The
Hmm.
secondly, even the child would be taken care of. I said confidentiality would not be maintained here
Yeah.
because it would be gone to the parents as well.
Yeah.
He, your child is having an issue with the
Hmm.
cigarette addiction. So
Yeah.
if the child is having an issue maybe with the cigarette addiction or a drug addiction,
Hmm.
obviously for cigarettes there are certain gums coming up for prevention.
Got it.
Okay, so he needs to go to the doctor. He needs to detox himself. He
Hmm.
needs to have a healthy life again. Now if he loses his trust in this aspect also, fine, no problem.
Yeah.
Because at one point of time when he will be out from that intoxication, he will understand that it was good,
Hmm.
that what counselor has done for me, and it was good. And one thing is dear, it's also a crime
Yeah.
whenever a child is taking any kind of toxicants.
Yeah.
It's a crime below 18 years. Okay,
Yeah.
so we cannot keep confidentiality in crimes. Okay,
Hmm.
and sometimes you may also know when you will give counseling to adults that
Yeah.
the adult has is being raped, uh, you know has raped a minor,
Hmm.
maybe. Okay,
Yeah.
now what to do during that time?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
we
an
cannot
issue.
keep
Yeah.
the confidentiality according to POX. Okay, so confidentiality, we can keep the confidentiality, but it needs to be understood where to keep it and where not to, because we need to serve the nation as well. So
Right.
for
That is
keeping the
absolutely.
confidentiality, we cannot build criminals.
By that, we can just put it in that way that we should know the boundaries between what should we keep confidential and what should we not. Yeah,
Exactly.
and every counselor has to have that sense.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think so. I have told you about that kid, na, who
Yeah.
was yes, who was a drug addict, and he has murdered the principal. Basically, some way or the other, his parents or his the authorities knew about it. Okay, not the school authorities, maybe
Yeah.
his parents or maybe who are
Yeah.
elder to him was knew all this. But what happened, they haven't taken the action. Now where is his life?
Yeah.
Okay, so confidentiality in these things should not be done. We should be like watchdogs. As a community, we need to be like a watchdogs to our kids.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
we need to understand their rights. We need to understand their confidentiality. And now sometimes what is happening, um, they are having identity crisis as well, whether they love the boy or they love the girl. They cannot understand. Okay, so like they get confused about it, and when they will come to you as a counselor, now here we need to keep the confidentiality
Mm. Yeah.
because it's a process. Okay,
Mm.
she or he can get confused that
Yeah.
whether, and now they are being exposed to the LGBTQ community
Mm.
and everything. So
Yeah.
and it has been legalized, so definitely they will have that confusions. So
Mm.
now going and telling to their parents, that your child is thinking about being homosexual.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
what would happen in the imagine? Okay, so here the confidentiality needs to be maintained, and you need to give counseling to the children that there is a time, there is a respected time for this, there is a allotted time where you will get your identity.
Ma'am, there's an age of there is a generation which is in exposure to very vast amount of digital media, and we are living in digital age. So how do you help children and their parents to navigate the challenges which modern technology brings on?
Okay. So, see, firstly, there is a concept of crystalline and fluid intelligence. Okay, so yeah, the parents sometimes, they resist something to learn, and
Hmm.
resist something to learn new things, and
Hmm.
it happens. Okay, so but for their children, they need to relearn many things. Okay, they need to understand that they need to learn to navigate the technology. And basically I educate parents and also children about healthy technology habits. Okay, online safety and digital citizenship. Okay, how this healthy technology habits, you know giving them information about which websites is being secured and which is unsecure website. Okay, now I need to give those counseling to the parents as well, that
Yeah.
they need to take care of certain child locks. Fine, if the child is very much curious and eager to learn, okay, about certain things which is not of his or her age. Okay, then the child needs to firstly be, he needs to be listened why he wants to learn about it, and this needs to be taken care of very maturely. There might be certain questions to, for children, that ma'am, mama, how babies come. Okay,
Hmm.
so this is a very common question, that how babies come. Now, at during our period, it was a storytelling that an angel comes and gives it, but it is unrealistic, correct? Huh?
Yeah.
So now there are certain, techniques also has came up, that saying the child that the, baby come from stomach. Okay, now what is the process should not be said. Okay,
Yeah.
now how the, the baby came to the stomach. Now again, some of them use the, story of god, that the god has came, and since the child needs a nutrition food, because the child cannot eat it by himself or herself, that's why, the god, god attached the child into our stomach, and this, whatever we eat, whatever nutrients we get, even the child gets it.
Yeah.
Okay, so somehow it is being half true half false, fine, but
Yeah.
in the process they will learn. Okay, but one thing is there, whenever you are giving technology in the child's hand, you need to be taken care of. It
Hmm.
needs to be taken care of. It's not like that your child wanted any, an iPhone at the age of maybe like 10 or even 12, okay, 16. So you should go and buy and give it. Like, so it needs to be taken care of firstly. And if you, even if you give it, there needs to be certain things that should be taken care of. That if you, go to these kind of websites where I have put it the child lock, I'm there has to be, I'll put a limitation in your technology, intake, basically. So, and there should be a limitation of technology intake as well. Okay, the parents should have the process of timeout. If the child is taking the technology more than 5 hours or maybe like 6 hours, they should take care of this. Okay, because nowadays due to technology, it is really affecting the brains of their children. Issue of virtual autism is coming very
Yeah.
high these days after 2020. So parents need to understand this. Okay, even if now coming to, online classes and all. Okay, now since the covid is no more, I hope it doesn't come anymore, but if there is a situation that you have to expose the children in online classes and everything, make sure that you are there to assist it always till the age of 16 at least. In 17, 18, the child is much more mature, and the child needs, and it should be direct. Always say the child very directly that whenever the child is at the age of 16, 17, 18, you should not watch these kind of sites like pornographies all the time and all these things. It should be crystal clear conversation, not like you should not watch this sex videos or something. And it should be crystal clear why they should not watch,
Hmm.
because it is also against certain laws.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's yeah.
according to POXO, you cannot expose the children to pornography.
So, ma'am, could you share an example where your successful case where your intervention significantly improved a child's development?
Okay. Successful case, basically there are many successful cases, but I don't remember much. But there is one recent one only. I think so I have said you that when I have given the drawing, and
Yeah.
then I got to know that the child was suffering from many,
Hmm.
mental health disorder which needs to be taken care, because she had a certain issues which was very away from the normal, which was not a normal thing. And at that during that time I need to prescribe her. And after that, when she came back to school, the rigorous sessions and everything, basically she now passed out of the school, and she has gone for her higher studies as well. So yes, I will call it a success, because at least she has
Yeah.
taken the treatment,
Yeah.
because many children they don't take the treatment.
Take the truth.
They never take the treatment. They have because they have been they have been through so much family traumas, and so much school traumas, so much career traumas. They don't want to take treatments.
Yeah.
Okay, so from that retaliation to taking treatment to giving the exams to taking the meds is a huge success, I feel.
That is actually a successful case.
Ex-
Yeah. Because you actually improved a person's life. So that's the motto.
exactly, exactly.
So, ma'am, my next question is what are the biggest challenges you face in counseling and how you overcome them?
Okay. The biggest challenge I face, it's the parental managing parental anxiety and the authority anxiety, because authorities are concerned about the child's merit. Okay,
Yeah.
and the parents are concerned about child's life and career. Okay, I frankly speaking, whatever challenges comes to me through child, okay, so I take it as a very kicking challenge. It's not like very negative challenge for me. That
Hmm.
I take it as a very positive challenge, and somehow it never felt that child has made my life very challenging every day. What
Hmm.
therapies should I give to the child? How should I talk to the child? No, I have never felt that. Okay,
Hmm.
but it's very much difficult, to counsel parents some of the times, because they were being conditioned.
Yeah.
Okay, they were being conditioned that बच्चा ऐसा ही करना चाहिए तो बच्चा अच्छा होगा. And I want to tell you about this. Suppose the child wants to take arts. Okay, now the parents is forcing to take science. Okay, now
Yeah.
the child knows that I am an art student. Now what would happen? The maybe one of the parent is convinced. Okay, that the child should take his or her own path and go to
Mm.
whatever he or she loves. But one of the parents, it might be like, no, like we said her, but she said that she would take science only. Okay, so you can understand, we
Yeah.
don't know whether she is saying means the parent is saying the correct statement or the wrong statement or what. Okay, because the child is continuously saying that I want to take arts.
Hmm.
Okay, so I found that managing parental expectations and anxiety is very difficult and challenging for me. It's a big barrier.
Okay. So, ma'am, finally, what are the current challenges and opportunities in the field of child psychology in India, and particularly regarding mental health services for children?
Okay. So, according to my experience, it is increasing. Okay, it is increasing day by day. The opportunities are increasing. The challenges are as well increasing. Okay, because every day a new issue is coming up with children. Every day. I think so. A few days back only, I have seen one, or I have read one article about a virus affecting child's brain.
Done.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's a very new virus. Okay,
Yeah.
so now here you have to study again. Now after
Mm.
the effect, after the treatment,
Mm.
definitely the behavioral issues of child will rise.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be a new challenge again. You need to study again. Okay,
Yeah.
so there is an increasing awareness and basically access to mental health services and the opportunities in India coming up. And challenges, so definitely it will be there. There are limited resources. There are, I also want to tell that the mental health authority body are also very confused these days. So it's a big challenge for us now. So who are even the students of psychology are calling up and saying me that, ma'am, what we should do. Okay, because we have done our graduation. Now should we go for masters? Whether they will give it or not, because we were from arts. Okay, now what to do, because we are not from science. So yes, even the mental health authority, they needs to be, it needs to be taken care of. It's a the guidelines coming up each day are not, guidelines. It's a confused, some kind of things are coming up. So challenges to भर भर के है, but yes, opportunities are also coming up. And
Mm.
we really need more and more psychologists, but I don't know, with all these barriers and challenges, how more and more psychologists come up. Because uh, during our time it was the humanities and the science subject can take up psychology,
Yeah.
or the mental health subjects. But nowadays they are saying that that should be only limited to science. So so much of limitations, but still demand is
Mm.
increasing every day.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your expertise and insight with us today. Your work in child psychology is truly inspiring, and we appreciate your valuable advice you have provided to our parents and to our viewers. And to our listeners, thank you so much for tuning to this episode. We hope you found it enlightening and helpful as we did. And we'll meet until next time. Stay well, take care of yourself, and thank you so much.
Thank you.